What Jesus was anxious about the night before the crucifixion. 1. Jesus knew what was coming. In Matthew 26:2, he says to his disciples,
"Ye know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified."
He was distressed and nervous. This resulted in hematidrosis. It's a rare condition that occurs under extreme stress. It causes a person to sweat blood.
And being in an agony, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was as it were great drops of blood, falling down to the ground.
Luke 22:44. Yet Jesus submitted to God's will, voluntarily. 2. Jesus probably saw mass crucifixion as a kid. He knew what dying on the cross was like. Mary and Joseph were in Egypt when Archelaus committed an atrocity. Archelaus was Herod the Great's son. He proclaimed himself king. Within a few months, he killed 3,000 Jews during the Passover festival. This caused Joseph to return to Galilee instead of Judea. 3. Jesus was verbally and physically abused. He was flogged before the crucifixion. This was a common Roman practice. The Romans used a flagellum to deliver the punishment. It was a leather whip with shards of metal, glass, and bone. Afterward, Jesus was mocked and beaten by soldiers. He was forced to walk 2 miles, carrying a 100-pound crossbeam. This fulfilled the prophecy of the suffering Messiah.
"I gave my back to the smiters, and my cheeks to them that plucked off the hair. I hid not my face from shame and spitting. For the Lord God will help me. Therefore shall I not be confounded."
Isaiah chapter 50, verses 6 and 7. 4. Jesus likely spent his last night in a dungeon. The abuse and beatings took place after the arrest. Jesus only appeared before Pilate in the morning. But where did he spend the night? Archaeologists discovered a dungeon. It's located beneath the historical site of Caiaphas' house. Jesus was likely chained in this dark stone pit until morning. 5. The thief on the cross wasn't a robber. It's a mistranslation from ancient Greek. The word used in the Gospels means insurrectionist. These men hid daggers in their cloaks. They fought against the Romans and anyone who didn't support them. 2 men were crucified on either side of Jesus. The third one, Barabbas, was freed on Good Friday. Barabbas was being held for insurrection and murder, not stealing. 6. Jesus actually died. His resurrection only makes sense if he did. Some skeptics claimed he didn't hang on the cross long enough to die. However, Jesus' death was ascertained by the Romans. The Gospel of John describes a gruesome scene. The Jews asked for the crucified bodies to be taken down. They didn't want to see corpses on the Sabbath. Roman soldiers broke the crucified men's legs to take them down. But Jesus was different.
But when they came to Jesus and saw that he was dead already, they brake not his legs. But one of the soldiers with a spear pierced his side, and forthwith came there out blood and water.
John chapter 19, verses 33-34. 7. Jesus' burial was unusual. Crucified criminals weren't normally buried. The bodies were usually left in a rubbish dump. But Joseph of Arimathea asked Pilate to make an exception. Joseph was a Sadducee and a member of the Sanhedrin. He gave up his own tomb to bury Jesus. The burial was undertaken speedily, for the Sabbath was drawing on.